Good evening, good time zone actually, everybody. Welcome to Zelda Speedruns and welcome to the Link to the Past No Major Glitches League. It's a Season 2 of this fantastic league, and it's also the Light World, and it's round 4. So we have KainDeschain and swunsh going up against each other. They're not just yet ready, but they're gonna be shortly, I'm sure. And until then, why shouldn't we hear the wonderful voice of our commentator of Misanthropic Buddha? Take it away, it's all yours.
Oh, thank you so much. And welcome, ladies, gentlemen, party people, everyone. Yes, welcome to the fourth round for them. I believe this is their last races, respectively, for the Light World here, for the Light World bracket for Season 2. As we are waiting to get our racers here at the ready, they're just finishing up. They're getting themselves some file names and getting themselves prepared here. I guess real quickly we'll run through some of this here. As you can see, what we have is, of course, well, we'll take a look at file names in a second. But here we have Kain sitting at 2 and both Kain and swunsh sitting at 2 and 1. Kain with a PB of 125.42 and swunsh, I hope I'm saying his name right, swunsh with a PB of 126.45. So hopefully, but again, PBs don't mean much. It's just more of to see how well they do at this one instance here. But it definitely should be a good race. And welcome to all who are in here. Let me just do this. There we go. Okay. All right. So now it looks like the countdown has begun here. We have ALttP and S versus K. Very good. All right, I need to do that. Okay. Excuse me. Hello, Dow. And yeah, so now we are just merely waiting for the countdown here. All right, let me move some of this. Move that out of the way. All right, I did get some pre-race notes, or pre-race comments from each competitor here. Let me get those out. So from Kain, he has informed me he wants everyone to know, I guess just tell the internet, hey, just be a little nicer to everyone and appreciate the people you love. Oh, that was nice. And then swunsh has informed me his pre-race notes were Light World sucks, Helma sucks, and Cold Stare sucks, and Vidi as well. So there we go. Hello, Tam. Welcome in. So hopefully everyone is recovered from to those who celebrated their Thanksgiving, the Thanksgiving itis, and hopefully you take some time from your Black Friday shopping to join us today. Let's see here. Trez, yes. Of course, this is absolutely correct. And now, making our way here, of course, through escape. Nothing real in the way of... There's always nothing in the way of amazing here. As always, this is going to be one of those things where you'll see several lead changes, but nothing... we'll see. Nothing really happens until, at the very least, until we get to Moldorm, at least as it seems to be that way. And so correct, as everyone gets in their comments there. Correct. Ham's got it. No math. Just no math allowed. So hopefully all of you have, if you have done the Black Friday shopping, you have gotten yourself something nice. Shout out to Tendi using a Full Metal Alchemist reference. Both going for the double spin there and managing to get it. So that's good. Both are making their way here. Kain a little bit ahead, but of course, not by much. Frames, really. And so I'm assuming both runners will use the 8/ for the ball and chain guard. That's really the only, I'd say, quote-unquote variant of strategy there may be. Oh, swunsh, unfortunately, a little bit Didn't get all that spin there, but did manage to get the key. Had a little bit of trouble. We'll see how that plays out, as Kain is the first one into the dungeons. We'll see how the green guard shows up here. All right, Kain can manage to get around him. I know Kain does one pot. One pot, 4 slashes. As does swunsh. 4 slashes plus 1, but that's okay. Kain unfortunately couldn't open the chest. Neither could swunsh before having to talk to Zelda. So that's unfortunate. You don't really lose time, it's just unfortunate. Now you get yourself a lamp, and now you're going to make a way out. Like, swunsh, of course, had to double boom because the trajectory was going to mean that guard was going to come right at Link as he was leaving. So a little bit of a time loss, unfortunately, due to the positioning. But, oh well. Anyway, how are we doing, chat? I'm also glad I could take you guys away from World Cup coverage to bring something far more important. What's the World Kupo? It's a competition where a bunch of Moogles get together. Thank you, Fox. Appreciate it. Fox already throwing shade. Alright, now it begins. See, Tam was fine with the typo right until Fox had to comment on it. So now Kain getting through the snakes there. Pretty favorable pattern. Only had to boom once. Swunsh, much more favorable pattern. Only had to, well, just walk through. And then both give themselves a small key, make their way to the back. We'll now see how the key rat is going to treat them. And now for Kain, the rat didn't. So pretty much with the rat, I mean, really, the rat is usually in a favorable position to grab. The only time it isn't is when it decides to go up, and you got to take a bit of a extra trip there. Swunsh, unfortunately, getting hit up with all the rats. Had to take a little bit of time doing those extra slashes. Kain now going into having a little bit of trouble grabbing the switch, but does manage to get through. A 54 for Kain, but Swunsh not that far behind. 59 for Swunsh, as both have made their escape. So 5-second difference, but not a big deal. So at least for this next part here, of course, there are the little things to always look out for. We look out for Octorok, the Octorok overworld, Eastern Palace overworld. And yes, just to remind everyone, for anyone who has just walked in, yep, this is the regular, vanilla, Link to the Past, no major glitches run, or race, I should say. This is not randomizer, or vanilla seed, if you will. But we do have cutscenes to worry about, no quick swap, none of that jazz. Everyone is using vanilla sprites. And so, like I said, the path itself is fairly straightforward. You do have to kind of be reactionary towards, as you see with Kain there, having to deal with 2 Octoroks in his path. Whereas you may not have to do any slashing, but you see with Swunsh there, had to do a little bit of bobbing and weaving to get around some of the Octoroks and some of the rocks that they spit out. Now with the overworld, not as troublesome as the... A little bit of problems here. Alright, Kain, a bit of an issue with the Octorok and the statue. Swunsh was able to get through it a little bit better, or a little easier, I should say, not better. And now both are making their way up into Eastern Palace. Fox with a question from the chat. Buddha, why do you occasionally have a Canadian accent? I don't know what you're talking about, so we're just going to keep it moving. So, of course, Kain first went into the cannonball hallway. Able to get through those easily. Of course, can be a bit of a time loss depending on if you have to weave in and out as opposed to just running in a straight line for the cannonballs. Now, the first trick coming up here for Kain is that if you can just hit the Stalfos with the pots in the correct locations before they trigger, you don't have to worry about having them all spawn in, and so you can go ahead and make the way through there. But so now we're gonna talk. So now we got to talk about this, huh? My accent. Remind me later if there's a lull in the action. Well, I mean, I guess it'd be a lull in the action now. It's Light World. Kain was able to get through there. Swunsh, fortunately, also having some Stalfos problems as well. Picks up the heart and picks up and gets a magic drop as well. So at least that'll save a little bit of time there with the magic refill at the end after the Armos fight. Kain, no issues getting himself a big key. So the next the next trick here, or that's notable to maybe some newcomers, is that you can actually damage boost through the anti-fairies to actually touch the switch to get to the key. So Kain gets himself a bow. We'll see how that one Stalfos to the left there treats it. Because that'd be the only real thing you might have to concern yourself with, is trying to either walk around or go through that Stalfos. And unfortunately for Swunsh, you did have to deal with them, so you can see there's a bit of a half a second delay, as opposed to Kain, where he was just able to walk through. Both give themselves the key as we now walk through up to upstairs. Cannonballs for Kain. Pretty simple. So Zelda Gamer Room, another bit of an RNG mess at times, but Kain took care of that with ease. Did waste an arrow though, but that's okay. Swunsh, on the other hand, also had a good pattern as well. And Kain, first one into the Armos fight. Let us see if he has the ability to count to 18. So that was 5. Now the spam all the way down. And yeah, that's 18. And see if Swunsh can copy. Oh, the slightly quicker variant. Shooting the arrow down. Unfortunately, couldn't count to 18, counted to 19, so he stuck one on the wall. But not the end of the world there. But so, all in all, pretty decent all the way around, so that's good. Tam and Fox calling each other out for spelling favorite with a U. We'll have to keep an eye on that and see how that transpires over the course of this race. Alright, now we're going to go to Sahashala to go grab the boots. And of course, one minor detail to see is how far away Link is in order to yell at him. You see Swunsh, she was a couple pixels further away from Kain, so was actually able to initiate the chat box a little faster. Now Kain with the spin speed, and gets it first try. And out he goes to the library. Swunsh, hopefully there to follow. And gets it. So both have done well there. So that's what's nice about, with like the JP 1.0 version of the game, is that, yeah, so you can do that where you start spin speed. And I believe, you tap A, then you can have, when you're on stairs, then you can go ahead and simply be faster. Kain not opting for the spin speed up to the library. Will instead take the normal path. Swunsh will also copy as well. and give themselves a book. So far, no problems here, which is always good. Can get first Kain with a successful spin speed coming out of the library. So yeah, it definitely does save more time for you getting the spin speed going down the stairs. While you can save time, going up the stairs or going to the library, it's not that much of a bigger risk. So here, nothing much to comment on here. It's for both Swunsh and Kain did manage to not run into the water. That's good. And otherwise, fairly formulaic in terms of the routing, where they have to go, and how to avoid everything. Kain, first one up to the tablet. Swunsh not that far behind. Make a little adjustment to avoid the cactus, but no problems. Hello, Willie. Also, Shift Threers, forgot to say hi earlier. My apologies if I do not call you out in chat. There's always a lot of action happening, so my apologies if I may miss you. Do not take offense. Just please make sure to yell at Fox Lisk where appropriate. Now, the beginning of Desert here, be curious to see what happens. So Kain manages a little bit of trouble, manages to get through the popos. And unfortunately, Kain does not get the pattern where he's able to run through. And so he's got to take it a little bit slower than ideally. Swunsh, on the other hand, does get the good pattern. Alright, Fox, we'll leave you alone. Should I then forward everything to Tam instead? Is that what you're telling me? Thank you, Cat. So taking a quick peek here, Kain does. Kain went ahead and grabbed that pot after picking up the first one there in the room prior to picking up the glove, whereas Swunsh will not need to do that. Because ideally, really having 10 rupees coming out is preferential. Oh, Kain had to make an adjustment there because he couldn't get that dash, because in theory, if Swunsh does it. So if you do it correctly, if you dash as soon as you get to that next screen, you can avoid that sand whirlpool thing. And let's see, you're both going for, and Kain got it earlier, and Swunsh just followed with the spin speed coming out the stairs. Saves a little bit of time. So Kain now with Popo Genocide. Unfortunately, one of them decided to take a bit of a trip to the top right corner, so that does lose a little bit of time. Swunsh, however, pretty much right in his line of sight, so the Popos were a little more generous. Oh, and while we get to this bit of a break here, Kain had also wanted me to put out this announcement. It's supposed to be during Eastern, but I'm going to do it now. Quote, "Pineapple belongs on pizza and Tim Curry is a god." Unquote. That was from Kain. So that's it. I have no comment on that. So now Landmo. Landmo now, of course, can be difficult depending on the patterns, and we got to see how the patterns go here. Kain so far with the looks to be like a 3 cycle. Swunsh, I believe, is sitting. I missed it. I believe he's now on his 3rd. This should be his 3rd or his 4th cycle. I can't tell. Swunsh having a bit of a hard time here with the Landmos, but they weren't. Landmo wasn't giving him, it's hard to react to some of those patterns. But Swunsh does manage to get himself the pendant. So I believe it was a 3 cycle for Kain, and I believe it was a 5 cycle for swunsh. But even though he may be a bit behind here, still plenty of game left. Nothing to, definitely not the end. As now we're making our way here to another big trick in the game, that makes this a speed run, if you will, is the old fake flipper. Kain gets it, no problems. I saw Scoople. Oh, there's Scoople. And let's see if swunsh. Oh, the crab and the pickle were not cooperating, so that was a bit of an issue. But swunsh does manage to get the setup and having a little bit of trouble in the whirlpool, but he does manage to get through. Checks coming in hard with the GLs. Now Kain, of course, casually walking the old man here all the way to his home, because running doesn't do you any good. Well, you can still move, you just move really slowly. Kain having some problem with some dead rocks. Can he get the spin speed without taking damage? He does. The cabbages can be a bit ruthless at times, but so far, nothing of any real danger for Kain. Swunsh not that far behind. Having a little bit of trouble, though, with the dead rocks. They all decided to greet him with open arms, which really is something that Link doesn't really want. Now, the cabbages. Yep, Swunsh had to take a few extra steps opposed to just dashing. Unfortunately, couldn't get the spin speed. Couldn't get it the second time, but with all the cabbages going around, it can be a very difficult thing, so opt to go ahead and just take the safe way out. Swunsh does get the desert. I just read checks his comment. Got the spin speed and the quick warp. Meanwhile, Kain got through the beginning part of. Unfortunately, swunsh didn't get tapped him a little bit off there. Checks had requested that the runners please use the bow for lane mode 2. Okay, well, we'll see how that. We'll see if anyone actually listens to that remark. We'll see what happens. Maybe about 50 minutes later. Kain finishing out tile room. Let's see, swunsh. It appears to be setting up for hopefully kind of the quicker version here. And nope, unfortunately does not get it. So ideally what Swunsh is going to try to do is he wants to put himself onto the right-hand side of those blue blocks. We'll see if he's going to try it again or not. Meanwhile, as this is going on, Kain is making his way through the top. He got himself the big key. Alright, so Swunsh is just going to, finish that out. Okay, and switch to lamp. Well, for making that hit that switch there. Kain, now time for a bomb jump. And gets it. Swunsh managed to make through. Kain now. So now let's see if Swunsh has to handle the beetles. And got through it relatively well. Kain also got the bumper skip. And so now Kain's going to make his way into Moldorm. So Moldorm itself has been a bit difficult for a lot of runners here, just because I don't know, Lambo. Moldorm has decided to want none of this. Kain having to book it. That was really close there. Swunsh does in fact get the bomb jump, and Kain gets it. Didn't fall, didn't take any damage, but some pretty dodgy though. Some ropey moments there, but he managed to survive. so Swunsh got the bomb jump. He will get the bumper skip. Now, going in with 3 hearts, so we have to be kind of little worried. Not worried, but a little concerned. Every Moldorm always does 1 heart of damage. Let's see how this goes. And unfortunately, already Swunsh having to deal with a left side Moldorm, which isn't ideally not really the best spot. Okay. Okay, 1 more hit for Swunsh. And gets it. Playing a bit conservative there, but understandably so. So now Kain is making his way through the mountain. He now has to go ahead and do tree pulls to get himself the requisite number of rupees before getting into excuse me, before getting the pod. And so again, for both runners, what they have to do now is to make sure after the first tree pull, they have to kill 4 enemies without taking damage, and then that means they will progress the tree prize packs from the blue rupees to the red ones. And then just for reference, Kain 2347 Master Sword grab. Swunsh, noting his arrow count, decided to grab the extra arrows underneath that pot there. Not a bad thing. Now, Swunsh here may not have to worry so much about the... Yeah, okay. May have to worry so much about the rupees. Going to go for the 1 blue and then the 4 reds. Okay, so now that's a problem for Swunsh, as he already took damage. So now we'll have to see how he'll be able to handle... There's a myriad of backup strats, so we'll see how he plays that. Meanwhile, Kain almost took the bomb damage there, but from that bonk, but managed to get through it. As you see with Kain, 24:41, by the way, for a catch time for Swunsh. As you mix it out of the woods. Alright, so now Kain going to make his way into Agate Tower here. It is ideal that you want to make sure you have, again, as with many things really, but this is one of those where making sure you have beams going in is usually a preferential idea. Just because some strats are definitely faster with beams in these instances. All right, so let's see what he does here for Swunsh. Swunsh is grabbing the mushroom. And they do the tree pull for the greens. Yep. Now there is another backup strat where you can go through and there is a tree in the courtyard, so you can get yourself the requisite reds there. Kain got through fairy skip quite well, so now we're going to go into one of the first troublesome dark rooms. Yep, so by killing those guards there, you should be able to pull, and yeah, we get himself some greens. So alright, so a bit of a delay there, but he's good to go. As Kain's still making his way through all the dark rooms. Oh, and Swunsh also grabbing himself a heart there too, so good play. As Kain is in the room of either despair or the other one, I can never remember. Kain didn't get the key dash, but got through used the iframes there. Gets to the top. Swunsh now is starting his ascent. And he managed to get himself the dash, which is good. Kain able to handle circle of pots. Swunsh had a bit of trouble getting through the door, so took a half a heart of damage, so now he has lost beams. As now Kain is almost at the top. So now, even though that, Swunsh has about, a quarter of the way through the tower and Kain has just reached the top, definitely what can definitely turn the run around is this right here. And unfortunately, is that Aga may decide to want to have none of this, and we'll see what happens. We'll see how many blue balls that Kain gets here. Meanwhile, we wait for that Swunsh finishing out his rooms. Bit of trouble with the spear guards, but manages to get through. As now Kain starts. Okay, and good circle of pots for them mostly. Alright, that looks like one blue ball for Kain. The Swunsh is about... Oh, and then there's lightning for Kain. So, Swunsh right now is almost there. Almost there. About 20 seconds, about 15, 20 out. Meanwhile, for Kain, I believe Kain is still sitting on one blue ball. That's 2. Now, really for Kain, what you don't want is you don't want 3. 3 is usually kind of the bad one, and he doesn't get it. And the reason for that is you'd have to wait another lightning cycle. But Kain, though, does get 2 blue balls, so he will be the first one into Dark World. As Swunsh, like I said, not too far behind. Now let's see if Swunsh will, or hopefully Aga's, the Swunsh's Aga will be hopefully a little more generous. So that's one blue ball. That's 2. Kain unfortunately missed the spin speed the first time. And that's 3 blue balls for Swunsh, so now he's guaranteed now to get another lightning cycle. Alright, he's now on 4. That's 5. So while it's finishing that up, Kain now going through Dark, the overworld for Pod, which is arguably one of the scarier ones. A lot of things can hit you, a lot of things are just around. And of course, the big thing, especially when going in, is you really don't want to take any damage going in. While Swunsh is now sitting at 7. Because like I said, you need to have... and 7 blue balls for Swunsh. Kain, unfortunately, with Kain, not unfortunately, Kain, you need to have 110 rupees, as you can see there with that damn monkey. It was 6 blue balls, sorry. I was looking at too many screens. Thank you, Ray. I guess 7 would mean another cycle, to be fair. So now there's definitely quite a gap in this race, but that's okay. Still plenty of race left, and Dark World's a very, very scary place for many, many reasons. Mostly everything hurts. So Kain now has... So as you'll see here with Kain, with Pod anyway, for those of you who may not be familiar, it's a lot of running around. It's a lot of get a key, mirror, get a key, mirror, get a key, mirror, get a key, mirror. And we'll do that several times. Swunsh did manage to get spin speed the first try. And, alright, Kain's now going to get us a big key. Zamy's the Dragon dropping 69 biddies. Thank you so much for the 69, for the nice biddies. Greatly appreciated. Alright, so Kain got himself a big key. So now he is out. So then I'll see her Swunsh. Make sure... Don't touch nobody. And managed to get it, so there you go. So no damage, no issues there, so he will also be in. Kain now, with the next big trick, is of course... Okay, I think he sort of panicked, wasn't sure what happened there. So, Kain, so it's a double pixel perfect trick here. And so what you need to do is you need to line yourself first, place a bomb, and then, ideally, if you can, to place another bomb as well. Now you're just going to settle for the 1 pixel trick there. That's fine. All right, so now Swunsh definitely has a chance to try to make up a little bit of ground here. So that's going to be very unfortunate for Kain. And then also on top of that, too, the fact that he now is down 4 hearts of damage can be a bit troublesome for later on. Because ideally, you really want to have full hearts going into the back. So we'll see how this affects him. Kain gets the switch. That Swunsh now is just getting the big key. And so really the problem is, you'll see here in a bit, unless a heart drops somewhere. So first off, Kain had to spend some time having to get the extra pots. And then having to deal, so this is fine. But now here though, you can't, it's much quicker to just beam that switch, but instead he has to use an arrow. And then on top of that, he had to use an arrow for the Igor statue. Now he's fresh out of arrows. Now Swunsh, let's see if he can make up some ground here with this. Get himself in position. Get both bombs out. And yes, he gets it. So he'll save a little bit of time there. Now this is the other problem too, as you see with Kain, is that Kain actually has to take the time to switch to the boomerang and then menu back. And so that again, you lose a lot of time there. So Swunsh definitely has the opportunity to make up some ground. Kain though, with a good turtle party. So now also you see in another place where some time can be gained here is the fact that Swunsh only has to pick up 1 heart, which is nice. And so now here we are for Kain going into the Helma fight. Looks like he did get the spin speed, so now it makes Helma's hitbox, a little bigger, a little nicer. As you see with Swunsh, like I said, he got the beam, so he could save some time there. Kain having a bit of an issue there, so he's going to go ahead and finish with the slashes. Kain, Kain excited about his 650 pod. So now you see there, like I said, with Swunsh, a lot faster just to beam the switch. So now for his turtle party. A little bit of trouble there. Unfortunately, he poked those 2 on the bottom as opposed to spinning them. So able to recover well, though. Swunsh now into the Helma fight. Looks like he got it. Yep. And so now just, beating away at his face. Oh, not quite sure what happened there. But he recovered. 1 more hit, and he got it. So that'll be it for Swunsh, taking care of Helma. Zamy, thank you for the 38 biddies with the message of Helma with hammer for me, always a pain, lost me a lot of seed runs. Yep, no, absolutely. Helma is never great. Helma's always a tough fight, especially when you're trying to, have to watch out for fireballs and have to watch out for the tail and just watching out for, him. Definitely a difficult fight. Or it can be a difficult fight, especially for anyone starting out. Kain now making it through the overworld pretty easily here. But he will need to take a stop in the grove. He'll get himself a flute. Okay. Yeah, I can understand. I mean, yeah, that can be tricky. Absolutely. And Swunsh got a 620 according to his splits anyway. 620 segment there. So, like I said, save some time. We'll see how he can react to that. I don't know if he's watching or not, but either way, hopefully he knows that, still plenty of race to go. Now, Kain has got himself a flute, so now you have to go ahead. You're going to go try for the spin speed. Get spin speed. They make sure to get past red guard, the old Usain Bolt. A little close by Swunsh, but did manage to get the hammer dash without getting hit. And now Kain has activated the flute, so he'll get to give himself a, 15, 20 second, probably longer, break. Swunsh, on the other hand, still perusing. Make his way through here. So now same thing for him. We can go ahead and talk to Stumpy. And so while he finishes getting up his flute here, we'll switch back to Kain. Kain managed to get through the Three Musketeers very easily. Oh, Kain with a bit of a miss menu there. Looks like he's going to set himself up for a hammer dash. Yep, gets through that. And you approach, of course, the portal from the left side to get the quick warp. So as Kain makes his way into Thieves Town, I'm going to switch back to Swunsh here. Swunsh, unfortunately, did not get the spin speed. Still having trouble with the spin speed. Did get it this time. Unfortunately, still got hit, and it makes it a little bit tougher, too, because once you get hit, you lose spin speed. And so you can't take... And the problem is that you don't have spin speed anymore, and especially in that position where he was, trying to restart a dash or doing that was very, very difficult, as you see by how quickly that red guard gets on you. But he's activated his flute now, so you get to move on. Kain himself... Oh, Kain took a bit of a bump there from the fireball. Cover... yeah, I mean... Clearly it's difficult for me to say, because I feel like I'm mucking it up. Now, for Kain here, or whenever you go into Thieves Town, it's a fairly straightforward... The only real issue is this right here, as Kain goes on. Kain gets the pixel, and so what we mean by the pixel, or the god pixel sometimes as we call it, is that if you land on the correct pixel, and assuming there are no enemies in the way, you can just dash through that conveyor, what looks like a very hellish conveyor room, with no issue. And then Swunsh, a lot of people don't realize that you can actually bonk that tree in that Three Musketeers area, and it drops apples, so it can refill some of your hearts. So, now Swunsh is back at full hearts, and now he will now make his way into this as well. Kain bombing the roof, or the top of the attic there. And so Kain doing okay. You have to be mindful, though, have to be a little cautious, possibly, just because he's down 3 hearts from the events of Hellway. Swunsh so far doing alright as well. Did take a couple hearts of damage in his own right. But let's see how his Hellway goes. And so, unfortunately, even if he got the pixel, the first Patrick Star was in the way, and Swunsh, as you can see there, the Patrick Stars all decided to want to give him more hugs, so you take it a little bit slowly, but did manage to get through with minimal casualty. Kain getting himself Titan's Mitt, as he now will make his way to the blind fight. So now Swunsh, got himself Yeah, you always want to make sure you make sure that hole is visible before you leave. Otherwise, you got to go back and do it again. So now King with the blind fight here. Of course, in the community, this is the meme about it being a scripted fight. And as long as he sticks to the script, this should be relatively safe. Yep, and there we go. Done and done for Kain. So well done. As now Swunsh is making his way to the maiden to grab himself, well, both the maiden and the key. Opting to as well, just like with Kain, opting to walk. Not a bad strategy, though. Tam being blindsided by this news. So hopefully someone can help Tam understand what has just occurred. We will continue on here. The Swunsh had to take a bit of a delay to make sure that he didn't get shocked by the jelly. And now we'll take a look at Swunsh's blind fight. And so in general, what you always have to be careful about blind, like with blind in general, is that the fireballs do 1 heart of damage, but blind himself and all of his heads do 2, so that can be problematic. But for Swunsh, no big deal. Manages to follow the script, gets the kill, all clean there. Kain, if switching back to him, he is currently now getting himself the breadsmith, because of course we do need to take the time to make sure. We have to make sure that, you know, got to get ourselves a tempered. Tam once again accusing Fox of bullying. And so for Kain, he makes his way down the stairs. And so, yeah, it doesn't take long for them to make the new one. You just have to switch, literally go over one screen. And there's other strats as well, but that's just, you know, kind of the popular ones there. And give yourself a tempered sword. And so for both Swunsh and Kain here, as you see in 2 different portions, is that Swunsh right now has to go into the brewery to get the 300, as Kain did earlier. But then also we need to make a run over no fence dash by Kain. So we'll have to go back to that later to see if his run is still eligible. Is you want to make sure when Sea House you also get this 300 as well. Alright, so for Kain, we're going to go ahead and make his way into Skull Woods. That's true, I missed that. Yeah, Swunsh did get the diagonal frog talk. It's a little bit faster to pick up that top pot than it is the middle one. Kain, in definitely one of the trickier rooms to try to ever deal with, is the old mummy room. Try to make sure it's such a way to where the mummies will not bother you. Unfortunately for Kain, he did get a bit of a love tap. So now he's 2 hearts down. Oh, okay. A little bit of trouble there, but he did manage to get through it. So now Kain is going to grab himself the fire rod. Bit of a miss menu. And manages to get it. Oh, and he bonked all the way around there. And he opted not to fall down the hole, managed to bonk just because of how much health he has. I missed it. Was that for Swunsh, was that a fence dash? Can anyone confirm? Okay, so now Well, hopefully someone can confirm that here. Swunsh is now making his way into the mummy room here. I did notice that Kain took an errant fire rod shot, so that we'll see how that affects him, if at all, later. It shouldn't, really. Should be okay at this point. Oh, actually, it was actually kind of close there. Unfortunately, sometimes the mummy does get in the way, and you'll have to use an extra one unexpectedly. Oh, Kain tried to get a little too quick there, but missed the key from the mummy. So he had to take another lap around the room. Swunsh gets the bomb jump. Meanwhile, we have the moth fight for Kain. And Kain gets it. Yep. Fortunately for Kain, there weren't really any issues with respect to the the Mothville getting stuck in the spikes. Kain making an appearance in chat, saying hello to his children. That's nice. So now Swunsh, get himself key dash. The fire snake didn't get in the way. And now let's see how he does with the mummy hellway. Yep, pretty good. The extra mode didn't get in the way, so he can save himself a shot. And okay, Swunsh managed to get the key. And now we'll see how his moth fight goes. Sitting a little bit better at 6 hearts. Couldn't tell. Might have got the double poke. Bit of a problem, though. Okay, he did get him. He had a little bit of trouble, though, because Mothula, she did manage to kind of creep her way up into the spikes, so it makes it a little more difficult because, of course, the spikes don't do damage to the enemy. So now Kain is making his way over. So with Kain here, or in the Ice Palace split, there's a lot you have to do before actually going into Ice Palace. And mainly it's to get yourself the flippers and get yourself the Quake medallion for later. Look like Kain taking the safer path, not worrying about the lotto there. Let's see what he's going to do. Oh, no quick fish. So now it's got the Quake medallion, which will not be used until Turtle Rock. And so Kain now approaching really one of the more difficult, as always, probably one of the more difficult rooms in general in terms of just optimal movement. Because again, you really don't want to touch the blue. However, as you can see there by Kain, there actually is more leeway into that dark blue water than one would normally think. But the big thing is don't fall in the water, don't get hit by a fireball, and it looks like Kain has successfully done those two things. And Swunsh doing the lotto, but managed to not get hit. Now I guess we'll take a peek here to see if Swunsh does manage to do Quick Fish. And he does. He gets Quick Fish. So as you see there, even though it looked like he threw the rock outside of the circle of rocks there, he managed to hit just enough of the inside to where he would get actually get the catfish to appear. So good on him. Save a little bit of time there. Now Swunsh will make his journey through the dreaded Zora domain. I will now switch back to Kain here. And ideally, you really want to have beams for this beginning part, especially like for this room. It just makes it a little easier to navigate and doesn't take as much time or use, obviously, any magic as a person to try to use the fire rod. So, of course, now Kain has to traverse all this nonsense of actually having to re-push the block every which way. Just so we can get to the top part. I mean, track effect, it's true. Yes. Ah, yes, he does. He did get the quick fish. It's true. And yeah, you know, staying out of context, always funny. And Swunsh also gets through the warp with relative ease there. Kain, a little bit of trouble on the conveyor, have to make sure to take a stop to grab the key. Okay, so with Kain now doing arguably one of the bigger or major tricks in this game, or in the speedrun here, is making sure that he gets that bomb jump, which he does get. Just because otherwise, trying to do this vanilla is not an ideal situation. Kain gets a first swipe in the penguin conveyor. Kain in a little bit of trouble there in the room, in the Lonely Firebar room, but managed to get through. So now Swunsh, gonna see here how he handles the bombable floor, but so far, yep, all looks good. And so really for him, we'll see how well the... Oh, bit of a problem there. Oh, okay, so that's unfortunate. And then unfortunately, both of them did... He wasn't able to get both there, so he had to use an extra bomb and wait. Meanwhile, for Kain... Kain, a little bit of trouble, but he managed to get through it. And so that was dangerous for Kain just because Cold Stare does 4 hearts. 4 hearts of damage, and Kain only had 3. So Swunsh, though, managed to get the bomb jump. So again, this little bit right here may actually help out Swunsh. We'll see how the rest of this segment goes. Swunsh getting good lineup there. Knocked out all the penguins in one go. Return stair clip. Oh, okay, very nice. I can't say I've ever seen that before, but little what I call a little mini stair clip. Little baby clip. So for Swunsh here, we need to see how this will go. He's got 5 hearts left, and this can be a little dangerous. He can really only take 2 hits. We'll see how this goes, though. All right, you only get hit by Cold Stare once. Oh, that was really close. That was really dangerous. That was really close, but he managed to get through with no issue. The one got away from him, unfortunately, but did manage to survive, so he'll be good. Kain, switching back to him, he is making his way up Death Mountain, so usually this is where a lot of runners will go ahead and do at least some shopping. Usually the shopping here involves getting yourself the Ether Tablet. Now, I don't know if Kain is one to do... I don't know if Kain is one to do the full shopping or if he waits till later. Yeah, waits till later. Okay. Yep, the other shopping would... Some also will run to get the Ice Rod now as well. But nope. Well, yeah, track. Definitely good clutch there by Swunsh. Because really, dying at that point for that in Ice Palace is devastating. But we don't have to worry about that. All's right with the world. And so now Swunsh will make his way to grab himself the ether as well. Kain getting the quick warp into the dam here. And of course, the little trick there is the fact that yes, you can use the to move that block to some other location. Okay, now first one in to Swamp. Alright, and Swunsh will also be doing his full shopping later when he gets himself the ice rod during the Turtle Rock split. So with this particular segment, or with this dungeon I should say, the dungeon itself is fairly simple, in my opinion. Nothing, not having to worry about bomb jumps or anything like that. You just kind of get through everything as optimally as can. And while stuff doesn't hurt as much as what some of the stuff is in Cold Stare, or not Cold Stare, but in Ice Palace, the problem is here there are so many enemies. You eventually can, if you get hit, you can get hit quite a bit, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, you get hit, 4 or 5 times, and then you're down to like half your health. But hopefully both of our runners can deal with that. Bit of a trouble there at the beginning for Swunsh, just because the monsters were not lined up well enough, so we had to make a bit of an adjustment. Kain hit the switch, remembered to hit the switch before leaving. As now Swunsh is approaching his first lever. So now Swunsh going through the main hub area with no problems. Sometimes that main hub area, especially near the end there, the enemies can start kind of getting on top of you a little bit, and next thing you know, you're down 2 or 3 hearts. So of course you have to go all the way over to the left side of Swamp so you can grab yourself that big key in order to get the item back in the main hub. And so as you see Kain here make that movement where he makes that diagonal right movement, so he can easily do 2 hooks to get himself that key. Let's see if Kain gets himself the hook push. And he did. Now again, this is one of those subtle things that a lot of new runners may not be able to tell, but what you have to do, you hit Y and A at the same time, do an item dash, or you do a hook push. That's not a hook push at all. You do an item dash there, and then what allows you to do is that it allows you to pick up the pot while the statue is still sitting there. Swunsh have a little bit of trouble there with Sociable Firebar, but did manage to get through. We'll see if Kain does any restock. Yep, give himself bombs and arrows. Kain getting through Phelps Way pretty well here. So let's see what strat Kain does with Argus. Gonna go for a 0 cycle. Have a little bit of trouble there in the end, so he'll get a 1 cycle. Okay, a little bit of trouble there, but managed to get through it, so he should now be good to go. 1 more spin, and that's it. For swunsh. Alright, give himself the pot. And now he will now make his way to the back. Oh, took a little bit of damage there. Oh, well, have a break in the action here. You take the moment to remember, hey, make sure, go ahead and give the, if you have not done so yet, give the runners a follow. So it's appreciated. And sure. Swunsh, skipping everything in the restock room. No real reason to get anything in there. Oh, get himself the dash there. No bonk. Now it's your swunsh with Phelps Way. Again, also gets through it without taking any damage. Always a plus. Okay, now it's Swunsh's turn for Argus. Going for 0 cycle. Unfortunately, he will... no, unfortunately, he got the invisible 1 cycle. That was a shame. He's going to go for spin, or for fire rod, spin. And does, in fact, get it. And that is that for him. So, good fight for Swunsh. Kain now makes his way to Meyer. And, of course, that'll be the last time you ever have to worry about the Murderdactyl. Bitey has made an appearance. Welcome in, Bitey. Alright, so let's see how Kain handles Meyer 2 here, the second room. Now, usually with the second room... Oh, unfortunately had to wait the extra cycle for the Whiz Robe. So that can be a tricky room there. Ideally, you want to make sure to have... both of those... Or you want to make sure you have beams in there so you can try to get all the Whiz Robes before... they have to respawn. Bitey, I believe it was 2 for Kain and 6 for Swunsh. No deaths. Yes, it should be noted, though, I guess one of the big differences was that Kain did have to do the hammer jump twice. And so Swunsh actually managed to get what Kain was trying for earlier, and that he did manage to get all of the clear out Meyer 2 first try, or without having to wait. So it could save a little bit of time there. Meanwhile, Kain's still progressing well through the through these last little bits here. As now Kain is going to approach Spark Gamble. He has been denied Spark Gamble. The Fire Snake had none of that. And of course, the nice neat little thing that Kain will first demonstrate is you actually don't need to be completely flush on a block to use the hookshot. You can be, off of it, as you saw there. So Swunsh now should be able to take care of these torches. So he will now get a couple minutes, a few seconds rest here. As Kain makes his way to the back. Now, usually it's after you make your way up top here. You want to be careful with, magic usage. Alright, looks like he set himself up okay for spooky. Let's see if that holds true. And gets it. Now let's see. Well, Kain gonna go get the second spooky. Gets it. Swunsh also has been denied Spark Gamble because the snake was having none of it. And Kain gets the third one. Now making her way into Vitreous as Swunsh is getting the Samaria. Okay. So again, for those of you who are new, may not be familiar with this, the reason for Kain doing this very odd interpretive dance in front of Vitreous is the fact that, got one cycle with the lightning there, is that the slime, or acid, whatever, only does 1 heart of damage, whereas Vitreous, the eyes, the lightning, and all that do 4. And so, the lesser of the two evils. But managed to get through the fight, got himself a crystal, and yeah, he's now good to go into Turtle Rock. Meanwhile, Swunsh still making his way through the bottom here, doing pretty well. And now, did he get... Oh. Gets it. Bit of a miss menu, though. No, from what I remember, it does 4. Like, everything does 4. Okay, a bit of a... It's a bit finicky, as you can see there with Swunsh, about where you technically are supposed to hit him, and unfortunately didn't have enough magic to do the third. Lightning is 2. Thank you, Chex. I swear I thought it did 4. Why am I doing commentary? I can't tell how many damage... I can't tell how many damage Vitreous does. So now Swunsh also gets the 1 cycle with the lightning. But gets it. Okay, apparently I've been fired for spreading misinformation, so okay, very good. I was told to come back. Can unfortunately take a little bit of damage there going up Death Mountain. Neither... Oh, okay, managed to get through. So, alright, so 110, 50, look at 54 or so. Swunsh managed to finish out Meyer. So now he will also take the trip to go get himself an ice rod. As Kain is about to enter... Oh, a little bit of trouble there. Oh, the Bush Guard. Swunsh, unfortunately, Bush Guard decided to play hide and seek with him. So now Kain, first one in. So not too much, at least to talk about in the first couple rooms here. We'll see with Swunsh how well he can get through all the madness that is Death Mountain. No Waffle House, but did manage to get through safely. as Kain manages to light all the torches and was able to get out before having to worry there. And then roller room. So far, so good. Use the iframes to get through everything. And then you take one hit, and then you can get through the second roller. Okay. Alright, so now we'll see how pokies go here. Kain, first one up for Poke 0, and gets the magic and the key. Kind of rupee as well. I love chomps. Chomps are great. Chomps are so integral to part of this game. I find that it is always important that chomps should have been in every room at least once in this game, as they are important to the lore of A Link to the Past. Alright, I'm done. So now, Swunsh making his way through as well. And so this was the whole thing mentioned, well, I mentioned earlier, but why, if you have the practice hack, why it's called a fairy skip, is that back in room 2 of Aga Tower, you need to make sure to dash those guards, just so you have the opportunity of getting a fairy drop to happen here, which hasn't happened yet for Kain. Unfortunately, an 8 drop did. Meanwhile, Swunsh gets through the roller room fine. So he'll make his way into Poke's 0. Swunsh does take the time to get himself the magic pot there. Alright, Poke 0. Oh, and then that was everything. There was the fairy, the key, and the magic. Forgoes the magic drop. Kain gets through Poke's 2. There's no... Oh, what happened there? I think he cut his dash a little early and got hit by a Poke. Kain did manage to get through, be able to squeeze through the very end there. Before he had to wait another cycle with the roller. And Track, I don't know what you're talking about. There's no hate for chain chomps. Never. And Swunsh. Okay, Swunsh, that smart play. Actually waiting for the beam to go by. And so now we'll see how this goes. Kain gives himself a laser skip, and away he goes. Oh, almost that little mini Helmo wanted to give Kain a hug there. Okay, Kain managed to get through. Swunsh about to do final pokies. And gets through. Okay, Kain, first one in to try next. So, you had to get the Ice Rod earlier for this one reason, and here it is. To do 2 Ice Rod shots, and it'll never be used again. Okay, and Swunsh, decent roller room. Got through there unscathed. Kain now setting him up. And got the double spin, and 1 slash remaining. So that is it for Kain. Kain managed to defeat Trinex, get through Total Rock. All's right with the world. And then for Swunsh now, though, almost there. Just has to get himself a small key. Let's see how laser skip goes. Yeah, usually try to get the beetle out of the way is never a bad thing. And Swunsh gets through, no problem. Now here on the switch room. Oh, try to go for the double hit, but couldn't get it. And did take a little bit of damage, so now he's kind kind of sitting in the danger zone here. He's definitely sitting in the danger zone with 4 hearts, because I believe everything... Can someone check? Does everything do 4 hearts of damage, or is there... Before I say something wrong again, I need someone to confirm that, please. Okay, thank you. Body does 1 heart. Your mom does 4 hearts of damage. Thank you, Fox. Unfortunately, he didn't get the double spin, but he did get the single. But no problems. My worries were swayed as he... swayed? No. No worries there. He managed to get through, no problems. As he gets himself a fancy crystal. A souged. There you go. There you go. That's the word. Okay. A sausaged. Yes, that's it. Ass-ooged, or a sausaged. Thank you, Requiem. I'm getting destroyed out here. Because I don't know this game. I don't know how many hearts anything does. I'm getting pretty alloyed at this comment. Thank you, Fox. Meanwhile, though, as Kain makes his way into, or is going through the bottom part of GT here, a bit of an issue. Well, mainly with, menuing, kind of the force of habit stuff. It has to do with the fact that he's got a lot of bombs. And that's why you see there Kain is starting to dump off bombs. Ideally, you really want to have no bombs going into, as you make your ascent. Okay. So taking some time to dump off some more bombs there, so let's see how Kain does with Ice Armos as we start the refights. 3 up, 2 left, 1 up, and then just, start spamming. Gets it and fires one on the wall, just because. So Kain will get himself the big key, and yep, chest on the left. Get yourself some arrows. Is now makes his way up to the top here, where this can definitely be one of the more challenging places. This one so far doing pretty well, going through all the rooms pre-Ice Armos. Okay, and Kain was able to get through the room without having to hit the spikes, as Swunsh didn't hit the portal by accident. Kain looks like took a bit of a love tap though from the cannonball. And so now he begins the gauntlet. And does Kain. And so Swunsh there unfortunately took a bunch of magic damage there, but not a huge deal. Swunsh managed to get through Ice Armos as Kain has finished up the gauntlet. And let's see if anyone checks his request here. Unfortunately, no one. So far, Kain opted not to use the bow on Landmo 2, but did get a good one cycle though. So sorry, Chex. And so now Swunsh is going to begin his ascent upstairs. Kain now reaching the torches. As now Swunsh is going to hit the switch. And manages... Oh, no, took a bit of a love tap, unfortunately, from one of the spikes. And so Kain going to give himself that refill. And so Swunsh took damage, or fell intentionally just to make the dash free afterwards. But it is a little worrisome, though, that Swunsh is sitting at 5.5 hearts as he enters Gauntlet. But he does have, of course, he does have the mushroom in his possession. As Kain now makes his way into Moldorm 2. And gets the kill. There's another Swunsh. Unfortunately, one errant fire rod shot. And so, probably, and honestly, a good strategy there to not really go chase Landmo there, because you don't want to. You need to have a certain amount of. You need to have a certain amount of magic going into this. Meanwhile, Kain now onto Aga 2. So for Aga 2, of course, all of his fakes throw regular energy balls, whereas for Kain, there for the real Aga does have a chance to shoot blue balls, as kind of demonstrating. I believe what Kain is sitting on was that 4 or 5 cycles. Wasn't quite sure. Unfortunately, Swunsh had to wait. I believe that was 5. Unfortunately, Swunsh had to wait for the magic to refill before using the fire rod. Okay. Lightning is 2. Thank you. Okay, so now the 5.5 hearts. We'll see how it happens here. Give us a small key. And the magic refill. Well, Kain now is on the Ganon fight. So again, it's 12 spins to win. Swunsh trying to hover to save the run. Whereas for Kain here, on his 3rd cycle, just now has to wait for Kain just has to wait for Ganon to stop, whooping all over the place. But so far, the warps have been pretty generous. And so now here we go. So all that's left for Kain, and he gets the Fire Rod glitch. All that Kain is left to do is get 12 spins. However, Swunsh does hover to save the run. That's big news right there. He does get it. Poggers in chat. Meanwhile for Kain, still progressing well here through the fight here. Let's see how the Aga 2 goes. There looked to be only 1. There was also another one. Okay, unless Kain falls, he will have finished this race. Let's hear, does he fall? Kain does not fall. He gets through. With a time of 1:26.44, Kain has finished and is the winner of this race here. GG's in chat. GG's in chat. GG's for our runner. Oh wait, hold on. Where's the other one? Where's the one that I like to use? There it is. Yep, there you go. As now Swunsh, though, is just coming up now to the Ganon fight. Drops down. Here we go. Let's see if swunsh. See if you can handle this. Okay. Now what's nice is remember a spin counts as 2, as the slash counts as 1, and then sometimes you actually get a double spin to count for 4. So far, looking like a good phase 1 and phase 2. And of course, what's important about that Ice Armor's fight way, way long ago is that it allows for the bats to have a predictable pattern for us. Okay, so now after all the warping, we now can finally get through this. Unfortunately, Ganon did not move. Gets the torch glitch. Again, torch glitch, really, really important here. Last one of the major tricks here for the speedrun. And now, of course, for some of you who may not be familiar, that you want to make sure, too, that when you're doing the spin, it has to be as Ganon, like, right as Ganon's starting to move. Because you can't do it, like, in the middle, because then it'll turn blue, as you saw at the beginning. And the problem with that is if it turns blue, you can't actually do any damage. But so far, swunsh doing well here, finishing this out. A little bit late on that spin. Only a few more left. And that is it. So unless swunsh falls, he is going to be the winner. Let's see here. Will he fall, though? Is the question. He does not. And that is it with a time of 1:29.22. Swunsh has finished the race. GG's in chat. GG's in chat. All the GG's. GG's to both runners. They have done the impossible. They have finished the race. Excellent. Excellent. Well done. Well played. And so now with this means that for Kain will end his run at 3-1. Swunsh will finish at 2-2. But still, a great performance held by both. Definitely some issues throughout the way there, but both managed to get over them, very, very well. So like I said, good work by both runners. And so we are now, as the credits go to roll here, we'll see if, as I can see here, I'll see if they are willing to answer my mundane questions. But a good race had by all, though. I thoroughly enjoyed this. And hopefully all of you did, too. While we wait, hey, did you know that, Vitreous's lightning does 2 hearts of damage? I didn't know that. This is true. This is true shift 3ers. Did you know that Aghanim's lightning does 2 hearts of damage? No. I did not know that. All lightning is the same. Now that's hurtful. Why would you say that? Well, look who it is. Kain, welcome in. GG's.
Thank you very much.
Yes, and
thanks for releasing my important statement about pineapple and Tim Curry.
Of course, as I would. And as Swunsh has also joined in, GG's.
Yo, hi, GG.
All right, excellent. So, I guess I will start with Kain. So, Kain, were you watching the run the entire time?
Yeah. Well, I was listening to your commentary, so I kind of knew, where I stood. Definitely had myself a hammer jump. That's two races, two out of the 4 races I had a issue with hammer jump. I actually usually go for double. I usually get both bombs and hammer jump, but this time I went for one to give myself more time, and then I messed up anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
Well, I mean,
NMG for you.
Oh yeah, no, of course, you do 100 things. You can do 100 things right. You do that one thing wrong. Next thing you know, you're down, 4 minutes.
And to be honest, I mean, I wasn't like all that upset about it because I figured like it was just good karma for the fact of you don't want to have that big of a advantage on blue balls, so
No, of course.
2 to 6 or something plus 4.
Yes,
that's like 30 something seconds, which is probably what I lost. So I think it probably got out in the end.
right, of course. No, understandably so. And then Swunsh, how are you feeling about, or how did you feel about how all that went? I appreciate that you finished.
Yeah, of course. It was fun.
Well, that's good. Excellent. But yeah, I didn't know. Yeah, both of you definitely, from what I remember seeing. Hold on. Can someone explain the lore about touching an eyeball hurting more than actual lightning?
I don't know, but I think that Vidi's lightning does 2 hearts of damage. I heard you say something about it doing 4, but
yeah.
So it actually only does 2.
Yes,
so,
I mean,
I don't know if chat helped you out on that. Or
I don't know. I mean, look, I don't play this game. It's been thoroughly explained that I don't play this game at all. But we're not quite sure how this will go, though. We have to check with the officials because, of course, Kain did not do fence dash.
Oh, that is correct.
And also Swunsh did hover as well, so we need to check. We'll have to check afterwards with the official judges to see if even this run is allowed.
It's kind of like the Final Fantasy X Chocobo race. It's like you can win on time, but if you don't collect the right amount of balloons, or if you get hit by the birds, if you don't do fence dash, and if the other person hovers, I understand.
Right.
I'll accept whatever the judgment of the council is.
Yeah, we'll have to consult with the High Council later. We don't have time right now. I think they're all busy Black Friday shopping. But regardless, though, I guess Swunsh, we'll start with you. Do you have any last comments about the race or anything about the tournament or whatnot?
Nah. Kain deserved the win because he finished 1 second ahead my PB, so there was no way to beat this.
Okay.
Oh, you just never know. I could easily
of course.
12 again, and like I was still having to do really well. I had a really good Ganon's Tower. If I had probably even just a 3 cycle, I would have gotten a gold. But it was like I had like a 610 or 613, 14 entry or something. That's my fastest. So it was a good run. But right up until the end, you could have won that. It's never over until Ganon's dead, because you can lose 2-3 minutes on Ganon easily. You can die twice or 3 times very easily when nerves start settling in. So, thank you very much to everyone for all the work they did to get this league together, and thank you to ZeldaSpeedRuns for restreaming this race and a bunch of other ones, and thank you Buddha for the commentary. Really appreciate it. It's a lot more fun when it's restreamed,
Oh yeah, well, I mean, thank you, runners, and yeah, absolutely. Even though given what the times were, yeah, they're easily in one death can obviously change. One mistake can easily change what would look like to be some insurmountable lead. Can easily be brought back. But thank you so much for Swunsh and Kain for racing in, for finishing them out, and thank you as well for ZSR. And I'll take you back to our host, the almighty Trez.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for restreaming. Have a nice Friday.
I think. Did Trez die?
My mic is refusing to work. I don't know why.
Oh, there he is.
So just want to say, GG, thank you so much. I guess good job, Kain, but terrible pizza opinions. Just
hey.
Holy shit.
Everybody can be wrong. But wait. Well, here's the important thing. What about Tim Curry?
my entire focus is still on the pizza statement.
Oh,
So
so you're just so blown away by the pizza statement, can't even get to the second part. Well, it's okay.
but like, yeah. So it's your fault. I have no time to think about Tim Curry right now. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Big shout outs to Buddha for doing the comps, and we'll be back
Awesome
with
comps.
more. We'll be back with more NMG League in around 6 hours at really ass o'clock. But that's gonna be the next race of the NMG League. Another match from Light World Round 4. It's gonna be KainDeschain versus Red Trommel. And yeah, that's at 4 a.m. UTC, 11 p.m. Eastern. That's gonna be on ZSR1 as well, so stay tuned for that. Thank you all for watching. Take it easy. Bye bye.
Bye.